Saturday night, and Providence, Rhode Island is rocking as we get set for the Friars against number 10, Seton Hall. A look at the standings in the Big East Conference. Pirates still have a 2-game lead in the Big East. Providence, as Ed Cooley, the head coach, told us, quote, fighting for our lives. Alongside former Villanova coach Steve Lapis and our sideline reporter Justin Walters, I'm Andrew Catalan. There's Miles Powell for Seton Hall, second in the Big East in scoring. But Steve, as we see in our AT&T Fast Analysis, the Pirates are a lot more than just Miles Powell.
Well, Seton Hall's where they are because they have the 9th-ranked defense, and a big reason why it's 9th is because of this guy, Romero Gill, the 3rd leading shot blocker in the nation. He's averaging over 4 block shots a game in Big East games. He's also averaging 10 points a game, only 2 last year.
Seton Hall won the first meeting last month in New Jersey. A change in the Providence starting lineup as Luwan Pipkins starts ahead of senior Malik White. Romero Gill and Nate Watson to jump. Our officials tonight, James Breeding, Yvonne Burrows, and Joe Lindsay. And Providence controls the opening tip. We're underway on CBS Sports Network.
This Seton Hall team has been tremendous, as I said, defensively all year. Probably 95% man-to-man, but they'll throw a little zone in their matchup when they need it.
Alpha Diallo drives high off the glass. No, the tip no good. Offensive rebound for Watson.
I like what Diallo did last game and what he did right away here. He's driving the ball and not settling for three-point shots like he was a few games ago.
Did not attempt a 3 in Wednesday's loss at St. John's. Here's a 3 that won't go for David Duke. Another offensive rebound for Watson. Right up and a miss, and Sandro Mamukelashvili corrals it.
Keep an eye on that offensive rebounding. Providence, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, number 21 in offensive rebounding percentage. Seton Hall, as big as they are, second biggest team in the country, 260 in defensive rebounding.
And it's Quincy McKnight connecting with Mamu for the first bucket of the evening.
Nice back screen from Mamu, and he was able to take it and finish it.
Both teams coming off losses Wednesday night. Providence at St. John's, and Seton Hall lost at home to a very impressive Creighton squad.
Interesting, Andrew. Seton Hall goes to the zone early, which they only use 5% of the time, but they know Providence really struggles to shoot the ball from the perimeter.
Diallo baseline, hands off Watson. Another offensive rebound for Providence. Pipkins can't hit the 3, and we have a whistle and a foul against Providence. Kevin Willard now in his 10th season at Seton Hall, 4th most wins in school history, and there's Ed Cooley, who on Wednesday night, we did the game on CBS Sports Network against St. John's. Cooley told us he thinks Seton Hall is the best team in the country.
He has made that clear. Defensively, they're tremendous. They have great size, and they have a great player who can get 30 at any given time in Miles Powell, who has the ball right now.
And he finds a cutting Mamukelashvili. He nearly turned it over. Now here's Quincy McKnight with the shot clock at 6. Sandro 3, in and out, tipped around and grabbed by Powell.
One thing about Providence, they have to have their strength tonight if they're going to win this game, which is rebounding both backboards.
And a foul is called on Jared Roden.
You take a look here, easy layup. Jared Roden played great when Mamukelashvili was hurt. Let's see what happens now that he's playing the 3. He was playing the 4 when he was playing really well. Now he's a 3-man. Let's see how that goes.
Providence struggles to score, last in Big East games, averaging 67 points per night, and so far tonight they've begun 0 for 6.
Seton Hall back to the man-to-man, probably because it's easier to rebound out of.
Watson took too many steps and a travel. Let's check in with our principal financial game plan.
Well, Seton Hall has the defensive rebound, and they've got to push it out in transition, try and get up the floor quickly. Providence makes some perimeter shots. We know they don't shoot the ball well. They've got to make a few threes, and they must get points off turnovers. That's where they're going to get some easy baskets.
Fans still standing here in Providence, awaiting the first Friars field goal. Mamu wide open, misses the three, out of bounds to the Friars.
You know, Kevin Willard, as he told us before the game, they're hoping to get Mamu right 100% back to the way he was, because he was playing great before he broke his wrist. Get him right before the Big East tournament. That's about 3 weeks away.
Mamu Kelesvili missed 10 games with that fractured wrist. This is his 6th game back. And a whistle inside, going against the Pirates, Romaro Gill.
I'll tell you one thing, Andrew, they are really all over the glass right now. I mean, Seton Hall is struggling to defensive rebound. They tried man, they tried zone, they haven't rebounded out of either one of those defenses. Providence has not made them pay that much yet.
Already 5 offensive rebounds for the Friars. Steve, you mentioned it. They lead the Big East, averaging better than 13 offensive boards per game.
But no points off those rebounds.
And Watson gets 1 out of 2. And the fans sit down. I thought it had to be a field goal.
That's what I
Coach.
thought.
I'm confused.
I came here many times and they sat quickly because they always scored right away.
There you see what Providence has done on the offensive glass. Needs to be a big key if the Friars are to pull the upset tonight. Powell, deep three. Miles Powell really struggled Wednesday in the loss against Creighton. He was 3 of 16 from the floor. Kevin Willard telling us it was just a bad game, and you're going to have those nights.
You know what, though? I tell you what a good sign was. They scored 82 points in a game where he was playing about as bad as he can. That tells you that this Seton Hall team, they've got other weapons. He's the main one. There's no doubt about it.
Khalif Young has entered the game for Providence. Pipkins got the start tonight, turns it over. Here's Powell on the attack. Good defense by Young.
See, one thing about Pipkins, the Seton Hall guards are considerably bigger than him, so they got him in the trap that time and forced the turnover.
Off the inbound, Providence out of bounds. It'll stay with the Pirates. 16-11 on the clock. Turnovers a huge issue for Ed Cooley's club Wednesday. They turned it over a season high 23 times.
That's not a great style for the Friars, the way Mike Anderson likes to play of St. John's, pressing and trapping all over the place. This game a little different.
McKnight for 3. And Young rips down the rebound.
And they've got to push it and see if they can get something easy in transition.
Diallo connects.
You know, this team is night and day. When they play at home, they shoot 36% from 3. When they're on the road, they're 27%. That is unbelievably such a big difference.
Seton Hall has missed 7 straight field goal attempts. That one goes out of bounds. And now they've reversed the call. It'll be Providence basketball when we return. Alpha Diallo from the outside. Providence with an early lead. Providence up too early. Courtside with former Villanova coach Steve Lapis. I'm Andrew Catalan. Both teams coming off losses Wednesday night. It hurts a lot more for the Friars. They really have to win this one tonight, Coach.
Yeah, Seton Hall's playing for seeding, but Providence, if they want to stay in this thing, now they have 6 games left, including this one. In the Big East, which is the highest ranked net league in the country, 6 games, you win 4 or 5 of those, all of a sudden you find yourself back on that bubble.
Seton Hall not at full strength tonight. For more on that, we send it over to Justin Walters.
Hi, Andrew. That's right. Seton Hall's been battling the flu all week. A few players missed practice yesterday, and as well as their loss, it impacted them against Creighton earlier in the week. When asked head coach Kevin Willard about his team being at full health at today's shoot-around, he told me that his team's at about 90%. Despite several players feeling a bit uneasy, Willard doesn't seem too concerned heading into this game. He also said there will be no minutes restrictions for any players.
Good news. Certainly the flu's been going around the last few weeks. Looks like Seton Hall has made it through the worst of it. Step back, Duke. And a foul is called. Ed Cooley, who got a technical foul Wednesday, doesn't like that one.
Oh, yeah, he pushed off. He used that left arm. It was a nice step back, but not that nice. He pushed him back.
Here comes Pipkins, and he lays it in.
And you know, Ed Cooley trying to find some offense, starts Pipkins over Malik White. He's a better shooter, even though he's struggled to shoot the ball this year, trying to shake this up to get some offense.
Miles Kell and Ike Obiagu have entered for the Pirates. Good tight defense by Diallo. Now Powell. And a travel by Miles Powell.
You know, Providence, they do a great job of getting offense off their defense, because in the half court they struggle. That's what they need to do tonight, get those live ball turnovers and finish them for layups. You know, one thing we got to keep an eye on, Miles Powell, not comfortable in this game. Actually, Coach Willard took him out. Dave Duke is 6'5", 6'6". That's a pretty big guy, and he's a good defender who's been on in this game.
Diallo hits another three. So he did not attempt one on Wednesday, and here in the early going, he's already made two.
You know, that's good and bad for Ed Cooley, because Ed Cooley doesn't want him to shoot threes, but he wants him, if he's going to shoot him, he might as well make them. So now he's going to keep taking them, I'm sure.
Kale spinning inside, blocked. It was Reeves who got a hand on it.
And Reeves normally not a good defender. That was a great defensive play by A.J. Reeves.
Pipkins' three is good. Timeout, Seton Hall. Twelve straight points for the Friars, Steve.
Well, it starts with Diallo, who's shooting 25% from the three-point line in Big East Conference games. And then the defense on the other side, they average over 8 steals a game, and they can block their share of shots. A.J. Reeves with a great job there. And then Pipkins with the deep three contested. And he has struggled to shoot the ball this year, too. A big shot for him.
Providence has already made 3 triples in this game. Meanwhile, Seton Hall is 1 of 9 from the floor. And out of the timeout, Miles Powell still on the bench for Kevin Willard.
You know, in the first game, Romero Gill had about 6 dunks on pick and rolls, and Providence really keeping an eye on that in this game.
Tough shot off the front of the rim by Nelson. Reeves on the attack. Reeves with the throwdown.
He looks like a different guy. That was what you call an aggressive take.
Ed Cooley told us that they practice trying to score early in transition, and you've seen that so far in this one. Another missed shot by Seton Hall.
Well, he knows they're not a good one of the worst half-court teams in the country, actually. Another three.
Diallo fakes it, drives in, hands off Young. They trip over each other, and a foul inside.
I mean, A.J. Reeves, he's got a lot of athleticism, and oh, that is a big-time finish over McKnight.
And that foul was called on Romero Gill, and that's his 2nd foul. So we told you about the big game Gill had last month when these two teams met. And now he goes to the bench early.
And now Obiaju is a really good sub, but you wonder, are they going to how long are they going to keep Gill out for? Because you don't want him to be a 0 in the second half because he doesn't have a feel, especially in an environment like this.
Gill watches Powell back in. Diallo banks it in. And Cooley even having a chuckle.
Yeah, he's looking at me.
Pipkins has struggled, and Diallo doesn't like him shooting the threes, but those two have been catalysts here tonight so far. Where will Seton Hall turn for offense? Reynolds, tough shot, won't go. Offensive rebound, Obiagu. Powell. It goes out to Samuel, an air ball. Seton Hall's 1 for 13. Young hands off Diallo, and he is fouled. And they're gonna count it. Everything going Providence's way.
That was a foul to start out with, and then this was an easy one. I tell you, that was a really nice pass by Dave Duke with that left hand.
Providence has scored 19 straight points. And now Diallo at the line trying to finish off a three-point play. And an early dozen for Diallo.
Well, they got to hang in there, Seton Hall. You know what? They need this guy to start going and doing something.
They've missed 12 consecutive shots.
I'll tell you what, David Duke is bothering him with his size.
Sandro, corner three, good, and a big, much-needed shot for Seton Hall. Duke trying to answer. He does, and the foul.
That's how you break a press. You throw it up the floor, and you knock one out and one. Friars, 23-5.
While we were away, Kevin Willard was issued a technical foul, and he was even more upset after because he insisted to the officials that he was talking to his own team. And Justin Walters has a little bit more on this. Justin.
Guys, if you could only be a part of that last huddle, he was chewing out his team from the start to the finish. He slammed his clipboard twice, and he challenged them and walked away. He's pretty much leaving it into their hands.
Yeah, that technical foul is not going away, though, as the officials thought it was directed at them.
Yeah, that's tough when a coach gets one like that. But you know what? He's got a veteran team. Now's when you need McKnight, Miles Powell. Those guys have to step up now and calm this thing down and play 2 by 2. They're a good team. It's early in this game. They're obviously one of the better teams in the nation. They need to take this little by little.
Here's another look as Kevin was pleading his case. Now, a lot of times, and you can speak to this, you know you're going to get a technical, or you want to get a technical sometimes. Didn't look like Kevin Willard really wanted a technical right there.
I'm not going to lie to you. There are ploys that call. I'm not saying this is what happened. I had times where looked like I was yelling at my team. I'm looking at them and I'm yelling at the refs and I'm cursing about the refs. I'm serious. To kind of hide it. So maybe he was doing one of those camouflage deals. I don't know.
A camouflage tee. I love it.
Camouflage. Oh, yeah, they get those, too.
Now,
I got some rent-a-car. You know what a rent-a-car tee is?
No, I'd like to hear about
that. The referees, they come together in one rent-a-car, and they'll say, Lapis, tonight, he says anything, I'm going to get him. It's called a rent-a-car tee. I got plenty of those, too.
We're learning about all sorts of different kinds of technical fouls here. So Duke shot technical free throws, and then the free throw after he was fouled, making the three before the timeout. All adds up to a 20-point Providence lead. Friars called for the foul. It's Khalif Young. Providence has made 8 consecutive field goal attempts.
I mean, this 25 is usually what they have in a half.
And another foul on Providence inside on Diallo. Miles Powell coming off the off night Wednesday at home, 1 for 11 from deep, and the one came with 1 second left.
I'm telling you, the size, A.J. Reeves now 6'6", David Duke 6'5" and long. The size is bothering Miles Powell.
McKnight keeping it alive, and a great play by Quincy McKnight to throw it off of Duke.
Good job. That's a good place to get somebody in a trap. You got the sideline to help you out as another defender.
Powell has started 0 for 4.
Oh, that was close.
Shot clock at 10. Roden with 3 to shoot. Roden sends it back, and a shot clock violation.
And you know, even when Providence doesn't make a steal, how many deflections have they had in this game already? They're getting their hands on passes so that you can't have any good flow on offense.
Ed Cooley was not happy after Wednesday night's loss at St. John's, and he told us before the game that the two hardest practices of the year were each of the last 2 days, and he had a good feeling about the way his team would come out and play tonight, and he was right on it so far.
Yeah, he buried him.
That's another way to put it. Powell out to McKnight, rhythm three. Won't go. Tipped out, and Powell. He'll launch a three. Powell 0 for 5. Another offensive rebound, though.
He's not going to
Powell throws it away.
Not going to get a better look than that one.
Tomorrow at 6 Eastern, Major League Rugby hits the pitch as New Orleans takes on Atlanta, only on CBS Sports Network. Struggles continue for Miles Powell. Going back to Wednesday against Creighton, still scoreless tonight with the turnovers as well. He's got 3 of them.
I mean, we're talking first-team All-American here. Great defense by Miles Powell.
He gets the steal. 3-on-1. Powell underneath to Roden, and they wave it off. Offensive foul on Miles Powell.
You know, I said to myself when he was coming in, I said, he's going to take this because if he passes, it's going to be a charge. And he went way too far, and that was a good call. You'll see it right here. He comes one too much. He should have gone a half a dribble earlier, and he wouldn't have run into him.
Pipkins draws the charge. And Powell now with his 4th turnover.
That's the worst thing. It's one thing to miss shots. When you turn it over, you're real negative.
And now 7 team fouls on the Pirates. So Providence will shoot free throws the rest of the half with 9.5 to go. Diallo 3. Unreal. Unreal. He's got 4 threes.
That's unbelievable.
We've been around Ed Cooley all week. He said, I don't want Diallo shooting threes anymore. Tough shot for Miles Powell, and he finally gets on the board.
Very tough shot there.
Providence still up 3 touchdowns.
They are playing so much faster than I've seen them play. I think that's a great idea and great coaching by Ed Cooley.
Young inside, missed it.
That's a technical
and a
foul.
Technical foul called on Khalif Young.
That's a good call. He goes back for the rebound. He's got his left arm hanging on the rim. I mean, that's a no-no. Should have finished this. It was a great pass by Malik White.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got to call that. Young was very involved in the officiating Wednesday at St. John's. He, I guess you could say, drew 2 hook and holds. And this time called for the technical.
Within 10 seconds.
Yeah. Something you have not seen a lot of this year.
It's unbelievable.
There's Powell. He's a 79% free throw shooter.
If there's no team control, we have to use the arrow. Seton Hall on the arrow, so the arrow will change on the inbounds.
There was no team control there, so they had to go to the arrow. So the arrow's going to change on the inbounds.
Right, nobody had the ball.
Right.
So they go to the arrow for the ball after the technical. Seton Hall basketball, but now the possession arrow will favor Providence. Mamu turnaround off glass, too strong in the rebound to Pipkins.
Tough shot, you know, and Seton Hall going small. I like the idea of Mamu being, but that's what happens when you go small.
That's the problem, as Young is able to work around Mamu Keloshvili. Roden, bad pass, bounces it in there and turns it over. Diallo is harassed down the floor and draws the foul.
I mean, that's really deep position. Mamu's got to he's got to get around him and at least 3/4 him. If you play behind a guy who's got 2 feet in the lane like that, goodbye.
Foul was on Roden. He picks up his 2nd and goes to the bench. And Romaro Gill is back in for Seton Hall with the 2 fouls. Greg Gant also has checked in for Providence. Diallo, one of 8 in the country to lead his team in points, rebounds, steals, and blocks. And he makes the front end of the 1-and-1. Alpha Diallo already with 16 points, twice as many as Seton Hall.
Let's see if they can get Gill going. They need something in the lane. They've got nothing offensively in the half court.
And Diallo has now just gone over 1,500 career points now in his senior season out of New York.
Boy, they're denying Miles Powell. They're switching aggressively to him, too.
Kale, jumper. Providence doing a good job on the glass early on, +8 against Seton Hall. Pipkin step back 3, won't go. Gant had it, lost it, out of bounds to the Pirates. And that takes us to a timeout. Seton Hall, ranked number 10 in the country, is getting blitzed on the road here in Rhode Island. All Friars so far on CBS Sports Network. Alpha Diallo red hot. He's got 17 points and he's 4 of 4 from deep.
That's the thing. 4 for 4 from 3, 25% for the season from the three-point line. I tell you what, it's always nice to be home. And when they're home, I'm not saying they shoot it like this, but they shoot a lot better than they do on the road.
A little more on Alpha in our Reese's player profile. 8 double-doubles this season, including Wednesday night against St. John's. That's tied for 4th in the Big East. And like so many players in this game, he was a part of Team USA in the Pan American Games last summer. He's got 17. Seton Hall has 8.
When you're in this situation and when you're coach, you get in these situations, you tell your team 2 by 2. Let's try and make it 12 at halftime if we can.
We were just talking during the commercial break as McKnight draws the foul. I mean, it was 3 nights ago. We were in Queens and Providence turned it over 23 times. They couldn't make an outside shot. This is a completely different team. Is it as simple as home versus away?
I give you an example. Texas Tech beat Oklahoma State by 35 points at Texas Tech a couple weeks ago. Today, Oklahoma State beat Texas Tech at home. Yes, home, there is no bigger advantage in college basketball than being home or being away. Ask any coach, anybody. Why? I don't know. It's hard to fathom, but it is.
And Seton Hall, to their credit, has been one of the few teams to buck that trend. They're 6-0 on the road in league play. Baylor and Kansas are the only other major conference teams yet to lose a league road game.
Think about it. That's how hard it is to win on the road in league, and Seton Hall has been tremendous. Today, they're running into a buzzsaw so far.
Right, still 7.5 to go in the first.
Seton Hall trying that zone again.
Diallo, red hot. Can he keep it going? He's fouled on the shot. 2 shots coming for Diallo. Seton Hall in Big East play, 6-0 on the road. And an interesting chat with Kevin Willard before the game, because when you look at Miles Powell, his numbers home against road, quite a difference. 18 at home, but 24 away from home. And there's obviously some factors into that, but there's a little more pressure when you're at home and all those fans want to see a show.
And he's a Jersey kid, so he's got all family from New Jersey. So, I mean, every home game is probably like, you know, a happening for anybody in his family and his friends. So that puts pressure on you, there's no doubt.
Fans are chanting overrated. I think it's a little early for that.
I think it's considerably early.
Kale misfires. Seton Hall is 3 for 21 from the floor. Here's Duke. Step back three for Duke. Won't go, and a whistle inside. And a foul is called on Seton Hall.
And you know what, Andrew? The tone got set very early in terms of that first possession, first 2-3 possessions. They got 5 offensive rebounds. They have not been able to keep Providence off the glass when they haven't made shots.
Mamu Kelishvili not happy about that call. It's his second foul. So Gill has 2, Mamu has 2, and Roden has 2 for the Pirates. Here's Greg Gant, freshman out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Tyrese Samuel checks in. Seton Hall with 10 team fouls. Again off the front of the rim, and the rebound to Miles Kale. Pirates trying to get something going here with 6.5 left in the first. They've gone close to 3 minutes without a field goal.
And you know, Romero Gill was a huge factor in the first game. He's been non-existent. Great defense by David Duke.
Shot clock at 5. McKnight jumper won't go, but a whistle and a foul is called. And that's going to go on Pipkins. Here's a look at Providence's NCAA tournament resume. Right now, not on the bubble, but the net ranking of 63 and a win tonight would go a long way in boosting that resume. Where do you stand on Providence right now?
I mean, they have 6 games left, including this one. They need to win 4, at least 4, if not 5 of these 6 to have a chance. With that net ranking and with the people they're going to be playing, that theirs will go down into the 40s, low 40s. When you're in the low 40s, you got a shot.
5 Big East teams are ranked. First time that's happened since 2013.
Well, how about the average net score in the Big East is 38? The next league is the Big Ten at 47. That's how good the Big East has been this year.
Every Big East team is in the top 70 of the net. And that's why, Steve, you can make a case that any one of these teams could go to Madison Square Garden and win the Big East tournament and get an automatic bid.
Hey, look, DePaul went to Villanova and lost in overtime. So DePaul is considered, they're not bad, but they got 1 win.
They're last place, yeah.
They're last place. They go to Villanova and lose in overtime. So this is anybody's ball game, this league.
And so far tonight, it's a perfect example.
And you know, it's like the rest of college basketball. It's anybody's championship, too.
Wow, offensive foul is called on Alpha Diallo, and Ed Cooley doesn't like that one. Second foul on Diallo.
See, here's what Ed Cooley's talking about. He didn't think they called the first one.
Doesn't get the substitution in time, and now an illegal screen is called on Seton Hall, on Miles Powell.
Wow, I don't know about that. I mean, Duke was in his way. I don't agree with that one. It wasn't a screen. He was just trying to get through him. That's what Kevin Willard is saying.
And that's the second foul on Miles Powell. He'll stay out there. Diallo now to the bench with 2 fouls for Providence.
Yeah, that's a bad goal. That's a charge.
And that's a charge. A push-off on A.J. Reeves.
And, you know, you got to give Powell credit. He's got 2 fouls. That's a good call.
You see Miles Powell in losses, shooting 35% this year for the Pirates compared to 42% in victories. There's been a lot of them. Seton Hall 18-6.
Let's keep in mind one thing, Andrew. There's what they did with Gill the first game 6 times.
Exactly. Gill had the monster game against Providence, 17 points, 8 blocks, and 6 rebounds. And that's his first bucket tonight. Malik White struggling shooting the ball. Providence keeps it alive, and a foul is called on the Friars.
Well, let's take a look at this last possession. What happens is, if you stay, watch here. Watson comes up a little too far, and you can't get back in time with a guy that big. And that's something that they have to look out for when it comes to Romero Gill. You can't show too long on those pick and rolls because he's going right to the basket. He's so long, you can throw him anything. I can throw him a pass and he'd be able to dunk it.
I'd like to see that, actually. Can we set that up for halftime? Gant commits the foul on the other end of the floor, so a 1-and-1, and Tyrese Samuel, the freshman from Montreal, who's just a 47% free throw shooter, makes the front end. Staring into that. This is the 107th meeting between Seton Hall and Providence, and they're tied 53-all in the series. Seton Hall, though, has won 7 of the last 9. Jumper by Reeves, halfway down and out. Gant had it poked away after getting the offensive rebound.
You know, this game has settled down a little bit. One thing about Myles Powell that I was going to say earlier, he's had some big second halves this season.
He missed the 3 there. Providence in transition. Reeves lays it in. That stops a scoreless drought of 3 minutes for the Friars. But then Malik White commits a foul, and that takes us to a timeout with 3:58 to go.
Providence is all over the place, getting it done in transition. Up 23.
Back in Providence, all Friars so far in this one against number 10 Seton Hall. Look at the Pirates, 4 of 23 shooting the ball and 1 of 11 from deep, and that includes Myles Powell. He's 1 for 7, Steve.
Yeah, you figure when you have a McDonald's, All-American first team on your squad on the road, a senior, that he's going to be able to get something done. But he's been struggling. He struggled last game, and he's struggling tonight. You got to give the defense credit.
4th in school history in points. An incredible career for Myles Powell. Where do you see him at the next level professionally?
He's got to be a point guard. I think that's the issue. I mean, he's a scorer. I think he's got to adjust a little bit and be able to play more point guard. He's big enough at 6'2". He's a decent athlete, but he's got to really become a point, I think, at that level.
Certainly some unfinished business coming, though, for Seton Hall. Right now, our Jerry Palm has them as a 3 seed for the NCAA tournament. They're ranked 10th in the country. First time they've been ranked this high in the month of February since 1993. And a foul is called on Ike Obiagu, the transfer from Florida State. Two shots coming for Nate Watson. Providence has not defeated a top 10 team in almost 2 years to the day. It was Valentine's Day 2018 when here in this building they beat number 3 Villanova. I'm going to count the bucket, and then a foul is called after the good free throw.
Wow.
And they're going to take a look at the monitor to see if there was anything flagrant on Obiagu. 21 in blue.
Well, they
might call that right there.
Oh yeah, they may. It's certainly a foul. There's no doubt about that. Oh yeah, that could be.
Look at flagrant 1, unnecessary contact. Certainly falls into that category as our officiating crew takes a look.
I think they're going to go with a 1.
Right side of your screen here.
Yeah, I mean, totally unnecessary. Absolutely. I think that's classic flagrant one.
Greg Gant got the raw end of that deal. Freshman.
I guess not so classic. They called Joe Lindsay over, the third official, to take a look also. Yeah, I'm reading James Breeding's lips. I think he said flagrant one, but
How good are your lip reading skills? 1 to 10, are you about a 7?
I'm about a 7.
All right, well, see if you're right here. Getting some assistance from the fans behind.
I guess not that easy.
I see them putting up 1 for a flagrant 1. Now we're going to get official word here. Flagrant 1 on Ike Obiagu.
You know, I was a pretty good ref when I was coaching.
Oh, your lip reading skills might even be better. Man, oh man, what a brutal first half for Seton Hall.
I mean, you just do something like that just like multiplies it.
So Gant will get 2 shots, and then Providence will also get the basketball. Unfortunately, Greg Gant has had to deal with a lot this year. His mother, Tawana, after battling a lengthy illness, died in November. Ed Cooley and Greg went down to the funeral for Gant's mother, and a freshman, first time away from home from North Carolina, and then have to deal with the loss of his mother. It's been a tough season for Gant.
Can't imagine.
Ed Cooley has high expectations for this freshman.
Yeah, they really like him.
Duke won't go. Romaro Gill the rebound. Seton Hall looking for a late run to go into the locker room. 3:25 to go.
They've been so active defensively.
They're all over Powell. He finds a wide open Samuel for 3, and it's good. Just the 16th 3 this season for the 6'10 freshman.
Yeah, he's going to be a good player, this kid.
Second 3 tonight for the Hall. Oh, good defense by Gill. Can't get it past him. Reynolds 2-on-1. Reynolds with the left hand, and he is fouled. Seton Hall trying to get something cooking here, Steve.
Well, Seton Hall does a good job on this possession of moving the ball, and that's the big key. Get it reversed, and you'll get something good. The ball, they set a nice screen on top. Stop it right there. 2 guys chase Powell. That's part of their plan. And he leaves Samuel open. So that's part of Ed Cooley told us they were going to blitz the pick and rolls when Miles Powell was involved. They did it there, but you're going to suffer leaving somebody alone.
It's Shavar Reynolds at the free throw line. 85% this season from the line. Junior out of Manchester, New Jersey. Former walk-on who earned a scholarship in August of 2018.
Now the pressure.
Powell has to be careful with the 2 fouls. Providence shooting 46% in the first half. Shot clock at 5. Reeves travels.
I'll tell you, Shavar Reynolds defensively was terrific on that possession.
Coming up on AT&T at the half, Brent Stover, Seth Davis, John Rothstein, and Friar legend Ryan Gomes in our New York studio. Ryan, I'll give you my address for the plug there. They'll get you up to speed on all the latest news and highlights on a busy Saturday coming up on AT&T at the half. Now, Ryan Gomes was a great player. And out of bounds is Samuel. Now each team with 10 first half turnovers.
That's the most popular turnover this year, with the line being changed. That people stepping out of bounds in the corner because they want to get their feet set for the 3. I see more people step out of bounds in the corner this year than ever before.
Both these teams average 13 turnovers per game. Already at 10 tonight as we approach 2 minutes to go in the first half. A massive game for the Providence Friars as they try to get back into the NCAA tournament bubble conversation. Steal by Powell. Miles Powell for 2. And Ed Cooley calls timeout.
He really anticipates well. He knew where that pass was going next. Understanding the game, so important. Friars needed a timeout there. Miles Powell gets it done on defense.
And all of the teams competing in the Ocean State's Holiday Hockey Tournament.
Hockey big up here.
Big, including in this very arena.
Well, my former assistant that was with me at UMass, his son is one of the best college players in the country. He's up for the Hobie Award, whatever.
Hobie Baker.
Hobie Baker, thank you. And if he didn't come up to UMass to be my assistant, the kid would have never played hockey. So he's very thankful that he came to UMass. Johnny Leonard, one of the best hockey players in the country.
You get a hockey assist.
I know something about hockey too.
There.
See that?
Really? I mean, what can't you do?
You always kill me anyway.
It's fun. Reeves off the mark. Offensive rebound for Gant. That stops a 7-0 run for Seton Hall. Powell catch and shoot 3 is good.
I tell you what, this guy, one thing about him, I've seen him have some second halves where he's heated up. He can put 20 on you in a half, so.
White tough inside, no. Gant had it knocked away right to Powell. Final minute of the first half. Powell with the left hand, yes. 5 straight points for Miles Powell.
Not the way Providence wanted to end this half.
Ed Cooley is saying, let's slow this up a little bit. Make sure we work a little clock here. White won't go. Gant tips it right to Samuel. Shot clock turned off. Providence led by 25 points in this first half. And Seton Hall has a chance to cut it down to 11. McKnight lost it. Gill corrals it. 4 seconds left. Gill, no. Here's Duke spinning. Duke from midcourt. Duke at the buzzer. It's no good. All Providence in that first half, but Seton Hall made it a little closer there down the stretch in the final couple of minutes, thanks to Miles Powell.
Yeah, I mean, they're within striking distance, and this is a guy, like I said, who can heat it up very quickly, a first-team All-American. He can shoot it from the perimeter, take it to the basket, and, you know, no Diallo because of those 2 fouls at the end of the half. That hurt Providence.
Justin Walters is with Ed Cooley.
Coach, you said you need an inspired performance to win this game. What's worked so well for your team in the first half?
I think defensively we've been pretty good. I don't like the way we played the last 4 minutes right there, but, you know, we're dialed in defensively. We're playing against a really good team, playing against a hungry team. We got to be more hungry in the second half and not have all those errors we had in the latter part of the half.
Despite the way the stretch ended in the first half, how impressed are you with your defense? They've been swarming from the opening tip.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with our defense. We're going to need another 20 minutes as this team is starting to get a little bit more comfortable.
Best of luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
Thanks.
All right, guys, that's the end of the first half with Providence leading 41-27 after the break. Brent and the gang in New York. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Ready for the second half here in Providence, Rhode Island. A look at the first half numbers, all tilted in favor of the Friars. 6 threes for Providence. Courtside with Steve Lapis, I'm Andrew Catalan. We'll hear from Justin Walters coming up. Seton Hall ended the first half on a 12-2 run. What do the Pirates need to do to get back into this one in the second half?
Kevin Willard's halftime had two components to it. The psychological, which is, guys, we're the 10th ranked team in the country. We're 6-0 in the league on the road. We can't beat Providence by 15.5. And the second thing is we got to rebound the ball. So you have a psychological component and then a technical component. And then your head coolie, you got to figure out a way to keep the pedal to the metal.
Let's check in with Justin Walters.
Guys, one thing for sure is that he is not a fan, that being Kevin Willard, of his team's first half performance. As soon as he came bursting out of the locker room, he waved me off and said he's not contracted to talk to sideline reporters. So I was persistent and I asked him a question about why his team was so sluggish, and he said that we just got our behinds handed to us, but he used more vulgar language.
Well, thanks for not repeating that, Justin. And we have an issue with the clock. This is the annual pink out game for Providence, Stand Up to Cancer. So they have the pink on the uniforms and a lot of people in the stands wearing pink as well. And the second half underway. This year, when trailing at the half, Seton Hall has come back to win 8 times. They're 8-5.
Well, this first 5 minutes is really critical. If Seton Hall can get this thing to 7 or 8, oh, look at this.
And Diallo makes him pay.
I think this is one of those situations where you really wanted that first basket in the second half.
Diallo is now tied a season high with 21 points. He also had 21 against Butler. Samuel 3, it won't go. Offensive rebound, Gill, and the putback, no. The tip is there for Roden.
Interesting team that started the second half.
Samuel out there. No Miles Kale right now for Seton Hall.
And Mamu.
And Mamu is on the bench as well.
You know what happened at the end of the half, Andrew, was Providence started playing a lot more in the half court. And they're not nearly as good in the half court as they were off those turnovers early in the game. So if Seton Hall can make them play half court, they can get back into this game 2 by 2.
Powell misses the 3. Powell had 10 points in the first half. Providence has lost 2 straight, looking for their 3rd victory over a ranked team. They beat Creighton and they won at Butler. Duke swatted by Gill. Romaro Gill is 3rd in the country, averaging 3.5 blocks per game.
If you go back to the first half, the times that Providence played half court and didn't get an offensive rebound, they didn't score very much.
Roden 3 ball is good. Jared Roden shooting 29% from deep, but in Big East play, he is 3rd best at 42%.
And I really think a big reason is he played a lot of 4 because Mamu was out on those games. So he was able to play the 4 spot, and he had 4 men guarding him as opposed to 3s.
Diallo tried to lean into Samuel and hit the side of the backboard right out to Reeves. His jumper won't go. Offensive rebound, Watson. Pipkins out to Reeves for 3. And Providence is cold to open up the second half.
You know, all of a sudden they score here, it's in single digits.
Tough shot by McKnight, and he draws the foul. Seton Hall upping the defensive intensity here in the second half.
I mean, yeah, you had no shot at getting that one off. And then Roden.
McKnight, an excellent free throw shooter, 3rd in the Big East at 84% over his last 2 games, 10 out of 10 from the line.
And you know, if you're Ed Cooley, you got to tell you guys, we're still up 10, maybe 9. We're up. If somebody told us we were going to be up 9 at this point in the game, we'd be happy. That you got to try to get that mentality across to them that they should be positive. I don't like the body language right now.
It's down to single digits. Pipkins counted and 1.
Big play.
Providence had missed 5 consecutive shot attempts. Now Pipkins with a chance for 3.
Hell, that's a tough one. Wasn't much there.
It's the 3rd foul on Miles Powell. Less than 3 minutes into the second half, Pipkins, who has only missed 2 free throws the entire season, misses that free throw. He's now 48 for 51.
Every screen, 2 guys double teamed.
Samuel drives in but missed it.
Well, he's got to finish that one.
Up ahead, Reeves. Wild shot, no. Watson fighting for it. McKnight takes it away. Races up ahead. Quincy McKnight 1-on-3. And a double dribble.
Where's he going? I mean, how about this? There's still no other blue shirt down there. I mean, you take a look at this. How many white shirts do you want? Well, there's 3. The nearest blue shirt is at half court. That's not a good play by a senior point guard.
Each team with 11 turnovers. Duke bounces it to Watson. Still no Mamukelashvili here in the second half for Seton Hall as Miles Powell draws the foul, and that takes us to a timeout. It was once a 25-point Providence lead. Not anymore. Dave Gavitt, Providence head coach and athletic director, Big East commissioner. He was the first commissioner of the Big East on the committee that founded the Dream Team. Such a big part of Providence basketball. Dave Gavitt passed away in 2011.
I'll never forget my first year as an assistant coach, getting to meet Dave because he used to come to all the games around the league. Great guy. And what he did, he was a visionary when it came to this thing.
And Providence still wears DG on their jerseys in his honor.
And the guy who took over for him, Mike Tranghese, is in the building, who was the commissioner when I was coaching at Villanova those 9 years.
Now a consultant with the Providence team. Mamukelashvili has checked in for Seton Hall. They lob it to him. Bad pass there.
I don't know if they thought they were throwing that to Gill, but it wasn't Gill.
Reeves, step back. And there is Gill for the rebound. McKnight setting up the Seton Hall offense.
They're going to try the high low. Wasn't there.
Powell on the drive, lays it in. Pretty move by Miles Powell. He's got a dozen.
You know, Andrew, he's a stop and go, change speed, change direction. Really, really deceptive with the ball.
Providence has not been able to get out in transition here in the second half.
Not forcing turnovers, not getting second shots. That's what they did the first 10 minutes of the game.
And this is what they look like when they don't do it. They settle for threes. We saw it Wednesday night in their loss against St. John's. 2 for 12 this half, and a foul is called on Duke. Third foul on David Duke. This was the move by Miles Powell previously.
Watch, he stops there and then he goes. Great stop and go.
Powell into a 3 and he's fouled. Alpha Diallo got him. 3 shots coming from Miles Powell. And there's a lot of concerned looks in the stands right now, and that man's face as well.
I mean, we're talking 14 minutes to go in the game. This thing could be 7, could be 6. That's a foul.
Powell 79% from the line. And now the fans making some noise here at the dunk. But Powell quiets them, and with that free throw, Powell now has 13 points. He has passed Jeremy Hazel for third in school history. Only Nick Workman and Terry DeHare have scored more points at Seton Hall than Myles Powell.
I saw Terry DeHare very well. Dropped a lot of them on me.
It's really hard for me to do any type of Big East stat without you having a cringe on your face.
Yeah, I do have. Hey, I got some good ones too.
You have some very good ones. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I got some cringeworthy ones too.
Meanwhile, Providence's lead is down to 7. And a foul by McKnight.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous foul.
Let's update the all-time scoring list at Seton Hall. There he is. Number 3 all-time.
And he's got a shot at 2.
Yeah, number 1 would be tough. They'd have to make a very deep run, and he'd have to have some big 30-point games.
No, you know, they go all the way to the end. They go all the way to the finals of the Big East tournament. Then they go to the Final Four, which is possible.
Never know.
Never know. But yes, that's a long way off.
Young misses. Diallo able to get it out to Reeves, and they'll reset.
Offensive rebounding. Number 21 in the nation, offensive rebound percentage. It shows.
Shot clock at 6. Duke had it poked away. McKnight goes to the ground, tries to fling it up to Roden. He does. Now Roden to Powell. Mamu up ahead for the flush. Timeout, Providence. Different energy in the second half for Seton Hall.
Number 9th rated defense in the country. These guys in the half court, they can lock you up right now. The Friars coming all the way back, down 5.
Let's have 2 timeouts. Everybody should be fresh right now.
Oh, yeah, good, boys. They're not built for it. Make it out, Roy. Bro, good job down there, bro.
In the huddle with Kevin Willard, as you see Seton Hall down by 14 at the half. It would be their biggest halftime deficit overcome this season to win a game. And for Providence, Steve, they're just 2 of 15 to start the second half.
And what happens is when the momentum turned the last 4 minutes of the first half, that gave Seton Hall some life. When you're down 14 at halftime, big difference than being down 20 or 25, even psychologically. All you got to do is score 7 points, and it's a 7-point game. Right now, back to only 3. And we know how good Seton Hall is. They've had an unbelievable year, and they're tough as nails on the road.
Romaro Gill has 3 blocks so far tonight for Seton Hall. And Providence has not scored in over 5 minutes.
I can tell you right now, if Providence is going to win this game, they're going to have to score in the half court, and they're going to have to get back on that offensive glass again. And you know, here's where not having a real point guard hurts you.
Diallo spins and scores. Good play out of the timeout for Ed Cooley.
They had to go to him in the low post. He's their most consistent scorer inside. Good play by Ed Cooley.
A new season high for Diallo. He's got 23. His career high is 27.
Let's see if the double team comes.
Powell over White. It's good. A triple for Myles Powell.
That's just that's a shot an All-American makes.
2-point game.
He just got to make sure he doesn't get that 4th foul. Go back to Diallo in the post.
Diallo 3. It's good. He has the answer, and he's 5 of 5 from deep.
I gotta tell you the truth. I would have bet anything that he would make that. Oh, somebody's hurt.
Oh, Pipkins is hurt at midcourt. Got tangled up. No foul call, but Pipkins in a lot of pain. Not putting any or hardly any weight on that right leg. And he just tripped on his own feet. Pipkins, the senior grad transfer from UMass, made his 20th start of the season today in favor of Malik White. Let's take one more look at it, just backwards. Oh, you know, he did step on Sandro's foot. Obviously nothing intentional that Mamukelashvili did. He wasn't even looking at him. Hopefully Pipkins is okay. Emmett Holt has checked in for Providence. Chance of let's go Friars from this big crowd at the dunk. Powell turns it over. That is his 6th turnover tonight. And Pipkins in some pain on the bench. And a foul is called. Diallo, the offensive foul.
I don't know, from my vantage point, I didn't think there was anything there that needed to be called.
And that's the 4th foul on Diallo. Powell quickly the other way. Out to Roden for 3. Won't go. Tipped out of bounds. And it's Seton Hall basketball. But Ed Cooley has to take Diallo out, right?
Yeah, it's got to come out. And that's a killer for a guy like Diallo, who's an offensive rebounder. You know, that, when you take his aggression away, which is what 4 fouls will do, that's really tough.
Diallo has to sit with 4 fouls. A.J. Reeves back into the game.
There's the double team.
McKnight left open, misses the 3, and a big rebound by Greg Gant. Providence with the ball up by 5.
You know, because of the attention that Powell gets, he's getting shots for his teammates, but they got to knock him down.
White, tough pass, and a turnover by Malik White.
Every time he comes off the screen, if he's going to get doubled, someone is open. Mamukelashvili had a great open 3 before. That was a good open shot there. They got to knock him out.
Steve, there's not a lot of times that Providence plays without either Pipkins or Diallo on the floor, and they're both out right now. McKnight misses again. Seton Hall has cooled off here in the last few minutes. White all the way, and he scores. Timeout, Seton Hall.
Let's see here. That's a foul.
That's a savvy move by Miles Powell.
It's a foul.
It's the 6th team foul on Providence, so Seton Hall's shooting the rest of the way.
When you're guarding a guy like him, it's so hard because he's so good. You want to get up on him. You don't want him to take a shot without a hand in his face, and you can, you know, make bad fouls.
For the 14th time this season, Miles Powell has scored at least 20 points in a game. He's got 21 so far. And he'll stay there for the moment. 2 out of 3 from the line, 52-47.
Let's see what Providence is going to get half-court offense now with Diallo out of the game. And he's got to sit till at least the 5-minute mark, I would think.
Ed Cooley told us that when Holt is out there, they want to try to free him up for some threes like this. But he misses. Tipped around. And a foul is called on Mamukelashvili.
Wow.
Didn't look like much there.
No, didn't look like it.
3rd foul, though, on Sandro, and he has to come out of the game. 8:59 to go. Seton Hall, 3 players with 3 fouls. Gant from the free throw line moves in. Wild shot, no, and Roden takes it off the glass.
You know, with this team for Providence, the guy who's got to step up is probably David Duke.
Wow. Gill was down there. I think he was trying to get it to him, and then halfway through decided to shoot it. Either way, it's Providence the other way.
Yeah, that was not a good shot. And they got to try to make hay while Diallo's on the bench.
White, long two, no. And a rebound by Samuel, who's been active here in the second half. Pipkins is going to the scorer's table. He wants back in. Next whistle, you'll see him. Meanwhile, McKnight and one. That's the first field goal tonight for Quincy McKnight. He started 0 for 5.
Yeah, he had really been struggling, but you know what? He's got good size, he's long. He knew exactly what he wanted to do on that move.
Miles Powell just went to the bench. Last time down the floor, Powell looked at Kevin Willard. He was huffing and puffing a little bit. I think Powell needs a bit of a blow here, and he's going to get one with 8:04 to play.
And the media timeout's coming.
52-50. Just another night in the Big East Conference. What a season it's been for this league.
One thing about McKnight, he's a really good defender too, and he's got Duke, who's the most dangerous guy Providence has right now on the floor.
Pipkins back in. And a foul is called. And that's going to go on Shavar Reynolds. 6th team foul on Seton Hall. And we've got a timeout. And we've got a good one tonight on CBS Sports Network. Providence 23-11.
Well, they're an elite defensive team. Number 9 in defensive efficiency. A lot of it is to do with those block shots by Romero Gill, but they're able to create a lot of offense from their defense.
It was 34-9 in favor of Providence. Since then, 41-18 over the last 20 minutes for Seton Hall. All adds up to a 2-point game. And Miles Powell, after a quick little breather, is back in there for the Pirates. Diallo also back with 4 fouls.
He's got to be careful, but I can see Ed Cooley bringing him back in a 2-point game.
Diallo from the free throw line. It's good.
They were getting nothing in the half court without Diallo in the game.
It's a new career high for Alpha Diallo. He has 28 points. As Ed Cooley told us pregame, we're fighting for our lives tonight. That's why you're seeing Diallo back in there with 4 fouls. Tough night for Quincy McKnight continues. McKnight is just 1 for 7.
They've got Diallo posted up, which is what he really likes to do.
Duke. And Gill with the rebound, using that big 7-2 frame.
Let's see if they can get Powell a shot here.
Powell comes to get it. Up in the air, Diallo poked it away, and Powell called for the foul. He was holding on to Diallo. And now Miles Powell has 4 fouls. What do you do if you're Kevin Willard?
I keep him in. Loses the ball. Yeah, it's a foul. It's a foul on Miles Powell.
And Kevin Willard is going to take him out with 6:37 to go.
He's taking a big chance. Here's what I'll tell you. I think if it gets to 6, I think if they go up 6, he'll bring him right back in. I think he wants to see what if they could buy some time with these guys.
Reynolds enters along with Mamu Kelashvili. Diallo off the front of the rim, tipped around, right back to Diallo. Diallo scores! He's got 30!
He does that more than anybody. He's so opportunistic when he's around the basket. He's got really good hands. He's a terrific offensive rebounder.
Big possession here for Seton Hall.
Who's going to score?
McKnight, and a foul is called on Gant. And no one in this building supporting the Friars can believe it.
Yeah, I think that's a bad call. I have to agree. I mean, where's the foul here? Well, you know, he shouldn't have stuck his arm in.
This was Diallo getting his own miss. He's got 9 rebounds. Providence has 17 offensive rebounds tonight.
When Gant reached across his body, it was a foul. I know initially I didn't think so, but when you saw that replay, that was a foul.
For those of you tuning in for the BYU San Diego game, you'll be able to find that online at cbssports.com/CBSSN as soon as it tips off. And of course, we'll take you there immediately after the conclusion of our game. 5:56 to go. McKnight makes a pair.
As long as you can keep it at 4, you keep Powell out. It gets to 6, he comes right back in. Especially at this point.
Both teams in the bonus. Diallo on the wing, guarded by Roden. Back out to Duke for a deep 3. And a foul on Gill on the rebound as Khalif Young was down there mixing it up with Gill. And here comes Powell off the bench.
I mean, he's just too strong. I mean, that's a one-handed rebound. I mean, Gill's got to do a better job of putting his body on him and bend his knees a little bit so he can get a little stronger. Now, I understand Khalif Young is stronger than him, but so he has to use everything he can by bending those knees and being low.
So 5:27 to go. And each team's best player is out there with 4 fouls. Powell for Seton Hall, Diallo for Providence.
And let's look at this again. You know, for most of this half, Seton Hall was holding their own, actually out-rebounding Providence. Last few possessions, offensive rebounds have really hurt Seton Hall again. Last 4 points, offensive rebound.
What a great atmosphere here tonight. Loud crowd at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. 6-point Providence lead. Powell's got the ball. Now McKnight attacking. Behind the back, Gill is fouled. Khalif Young thought it was all ball. Instead, Romaro Gill will go to the free throw line.
Well, McKnight does a good job of penetrating here. Drops the dime off. That's a foul. Are you kidding me? Kids are funny. They never think they foul.
Here's a look at that big crowd tonight, Saturday night in Providence, Rhode Island. We thank you for joining us on CBS Sports Network as Ed Cooley and the Friars desperate for a victory. And Gill makes a pair. 58-54.
Providence needs to find someone else besides Diallo.
Powell watching from the bench. Kevin Willard trying to buy some time with Powell out. Pipkins, that's a 2.
Providence with a zone.
Ed Cooley telling us they've been playing it a lot more lately. Oh, bad pass, McKnight. 3rd turnover for Quincy McKnight. A guy who's 3rd in the Big East in assist-to-turnover ratio.
I think it's a great move. They go zone. Miles Powell's out of the game. They play zone. Seton Hall gets a little confused. They turn it over.
Diallo with 30, looking for more, and he draws the foul. It's on Quincy McKnight. And here comes Miles Powell to the scorer's table.
They run the little weave. Step back by Pipkins. And then Seton Hall against that zone. Little confusion. No Miles Powell in the game.
Powell coming back along with Sandro Mamukelashvili.
Yeah, I don't know if Kevin Willard can afford now to go the offense-defense route. I think he's got to leave Miles Powell in the game because that time he was going offense-defense and he ended up with him on the bench when they got the ball.
First missed free throw tonight by Diallo. He gets it right back. Had it poked away, and he touched it last.
Oh, Powell took a good chance there. Powell got all ball, and it went off Providence. You'll see it here. He really took a chance there.
And now up 7, Ed Cooley is trying to buy some time with Diallo back on the bench with 4 fouls. It's like directing traffic with Powell and Diallo right now.
That was a good switch by Malik White.
Tough night for Mamu. He's only got 7 points. And the rebound to Providence inside 4 to go.
It's been a tough night for everybody, including Myles Powell, but nobody's been able to give him any kind of help at all.
Duke, great fake. Now in the corner, 3 ball on the way, won't go. Duke tips it out.
Rebounds. Providence, a tremendous offensive rebounding team, and Seton Hall, not a good defensive rebounding team, and it's really showing.
20 offensive rebounds for the Friars. Now they have 4 on the shot clock. Pipkins, deep 3. Tipped around, and White runs into McKnight. They go to the ground. McKnight has it. McKnight trying to call a timeout. And the possession arrow will favor Seton Hall. Timeout, 3:08 to go. Can 10th ranked Seton Hall come back? Or will the Friars hang on down the stretch? Back in Providence, Alpha Diallo has his 9th double-double of the year, 31 points and 10 rebounds. Diallo 5 of 5 from deep. Those 5 threes have tied a career high. 6 of 7 from the line. Also has 2 assists. He's been the story for Providence. He's the only Friar in double figures. Meanwhile, the BYU San Diego game is underway and now available at CBSSports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out to San Diego as soon as this one is over. Look at the foul trouble. Obviously, Powell and Diallo, the big names there, each with 4. And they are both on the floor with 3:08 to go, Steve.
Providence in that zone now again. Let's keep this in mind. Providence has 20 offensive rebounds in this game. You know they're going to shade Powell in the zone.
McKnight misses.
I mean, he got a really good look that time. He's got to make that.
Seton Hall is 1 for its last 8.
But give Providence credit. They're making somebody else try to beat them than Myles Powell. They know what he can do. Let somebody else show him, and that's what Ed Cooley's saying.
Powell lets Duke go right around him. And now a foul is called. If that's on Powell, he's gone. It's not on Powell. It's on Gill, who can't believe it. But for Seton Hall, that might be a good thing, because Powell was right in there, too. Fourth foul on Gill, and Young is at the line. Ed Cooley has not been happy with Providence's late game execution in Big East play. We look back to the game against Xavier, he was very unhappy. He told us that all week at practice, they practiced late game situations. He would put on the clock 3:33 to go, 2:15 to go, and they'd play it out from there. This has been a big focal point for Providence this week. Let's see if they can capitalize on it late.
Well, put this at Europe 8 with 2.5 to go. Feel like you got to win.
Powell deep 3. Halfway down and out, and Pipkins has it. And Ed Cooley saying, let's slow this down.
Yeah, they've got to use some clock now, no doubt. Seton Hall's got to stay solid defensively and get a rebound.
Fans on their feet. 2 minutes to go. Diallo explodes and scores.
Yeah,
Kevin Willard's trying to get a timeout. He's telling Quincy McKnight to call timeout, and it was so loud in here that nobody heard him. Finally, McKnight hears him. Alpha Diallo has 33. Providence up by 10. All right, Brent, it's a big party here in Providence right now as the hometown Friars are up by 10. Seton Hall has 1 timeout left with 1:42 to go.
And they've got to obviously get something going to the basket to stop this clock and drag out. You got to make this minute 42 take forever if you're Seton Hall, but they've got to convert on every possession. Miles Powell can't even get a shot.
Nice feed, Roden in tight, and he gets it to go off the pass from Quincy McKnight.
I'm surprised they didn't use their last timeout to set up their pressure.
Full court pressure here from Seton Hall.
And they don't want to foul, I agree. Get a stop and a rebound. Even though a Gant would be a good guy to foul, I think. Now you don't want to foul anybody.
Don't want to foul Pipkins. He's their best free throw
That's
shooter.
why he's got the ball.
And Roden fouls him with the shot clock at 12.
And the whole coaching staff of Seton Hall just sat back in their chairs. Not only do you foul after with only like 8 seconds on the shot clock, but you foul him.
Pipkins is 0 for 1 tonight, but on the season, 48 out of 51 from the line.
I take my chances with him.
Yeah, not a bad guy to put out there. College basketball tomorrow, a triple-header, noon Eastern, Cincinnati and ECU. That's followed by Tulane against Wichita State. And then number 4, San Diego State, still undefeated. Tough test tomorrow, 4 Eastern at Boise State.
That's a tough game. They could be had tomorrow.
How about that? Pipkins had missed 2 free throws all year. He's missed 2 tonight. Powell's pass deflected. Roden gathers. Roden fires. Roden hits.
Now use that timeout. You got 1 left. No, they're pressing.
6-point game.
Now you got to foul.
Pipkins shouldn't let go of it, and there's the foul. Roden fouls Pipkins.
Wrong guy. They had enough time where they had a chance where if they trapped Pipkins and he threw it to somebody else, then foul. I don't think they had to foul him right there.
And for Roden, that's his 5th. He is fouled out of the game. Roden finishes with 10 points and 8 rebounds.
He's a good player, that kid, sophomore.
Baldwin, New York. Only averaged 3 points per game a year ago. Big improvement this year for Jared Roden.
They've had a bunch of guys improve from last year. Look at Gill.
Credit to the coaching staff at Seton Hall. Pipkins rattles in both. 67-59. Powell comes to get it. Powell from way out is good. Timeout, Pirates. Powell from I-95 gets that one to go down. Miles Powell has 24 points, and that last 3 from deep cuts it down to 5. Seton Hall out of timeouts the rest of the way.
Well, they're going to set up their pressure. You got to try and keep the ball out of Pipkins' hands because you're going to have to foul at some point in this possession. And there's 47 seconds, so the first time he catches it, I think if you trap him and he passes it to somebody else, you have enough time to foul the somebody else and not foul him.
And also keep in mind, Powell can't foul. He's got 4 and he's out there. So if it comes to him, he's got to let somebody else come to get him. Diallo trying to get it in, bounces it. Pipkins has it. Pipkins lost it. Scramble for it. And we have a tie-up. The possession arrow favors Providence.
I thought Diallo could have called a timeout there. They have 2 left.
I don't think Diallo ever had the ball, though.
No, I'm saying when he was taking the ball out of bounds, it looked like they were in trouble.
Got it.
Call it then.
And now Providence will call timeout with 43.8 on the clock. Their ball when we come back. 2 games in a row once this entire season. It was back in mid-December. They lost back-to-back games at Iowa State and at Rutgers. Trying to avoid a second 2-game losing streak. They trail by 5. No timeouts left for Kevin Willard. Providence has 1 remaining.
The same thing. Try to make it so that Pipkins does not get the ball in bounds.
Roden is fouled out. Gill and Powell with 4. Pipkins has it. Pipkins doubled. Pipkins trying to get away. He does. Pipkins loses it, able to save it from going out. Now they have to foul.
Got to foul right away.
And they fouled Diallo, who was actually trying to get a shot off, and the refs say no.
Pretty good try.
It was a good try.
I like the thought.
Pipkins nearly lost this one. Right there.
Wow. That was a pretty good try.
Kevin Willard is trying to argue that Pipkins traveled when he lost the ball along the side.
Well, every Providence fan was up there.
Diallo 6 out of 7 at the free throw line tonight. Another look at Pipkins. Kevin Willard wanted to travel right here.
I don't think so.
Diallo was only 3 of 8 at the line on Wednesday night at St. John's. Tonight, 8 out of 9. 7-point game. Here's Miles Powell. Pipkins right in his face. Powell will force it up. And he hits again.
No timeouts left.
4-point game. 22 to go.
Away.
And they foul Duke. And David Duke is also a good free throw shooter. Not as good as Pipkins, but at 80%, he's 10th best in the Big East.
It's Miles Powell. I'll tell you what, he doesn't go away. I mean,
Powell has 27 tonight and 4 3-pointers. And now big free throws for a young man who grew up 1 mile from Providence's campus. David Duke makes the first.
they've been knocking out the free throws. You got to give them credit.
Providence 70% at the line tonight, and Duke makes them both. Powell draws the double, gets it over to Samuel. He bounces it to Reynolds. His 3 is good. 3-point game, 14 seconds left. Gant gets it into Duke.
Got to foul quick.
And they foul him. Reynolds commits the foul with 12.5. It's a 4 3-point game, 71-68.
Well, Powell gets all the attention, and there's an example where he makes a teammate better by he getting attention and that guy being all by himself, Shavar Reynolds.
Duke trying to make it a 2-score game. He'll have 2 free throws.
The right guys have had their hands on the ball at the end of the game for Providence.
I'll see you later, buddy.
Big clutch free throws from the sophomore David Duke. Powell up ahead. Powell deep 3, almost banked it in. Rebound Pipkins. Pipkins fouled with 4.7 to go. It's hard to criticize Powell for taking a bad shot because he makes all these shots. That one was from way out.
If I'm his coach, I'm saying, you know, shoot it from wherever you want, to be honest with you. The shots that he has made in the last minute,
This one is from the N in Dunkin' Donuts Center.
No, this is a guy that you're going to tell, you know, hey, you do whatever you think. He's earned that right for sure.
Officials are at the monitor. And have not heard yet what they're looking at.
Time.
There's an issue with the clock that they're trying to solve. Looks like the Providence students are trying to plot their attack to rush the floor. They're going to be greeted by some big security guards wearing yellow shirts. We'll see who wins that battle.
I'm not a fan of the court storm.
Ed Cooley getting his explanation. Seton Hall at their bench watching.
I think he called a technical foul on two guys. They were
Get an explanation here.
Okay. Okay.
Double technical fouls on Alpha Diallo and Miles Powell, so that fouls them both out. So Diallo, a career night, 35 points and 10 rebounds. And Powell finishes with 27. Pipkins knocks it in.
I mean, Diallo 5 for 5 from the three-point line on top of it. That's the thing that's unbelievable.
And this will be the third ranked victory for the Providence Friars. An impressive one over number 10 Seton Hall. Oh my goodness.
Why would he do that?
And now they're rushing the floor, but a foul was called. This is going to take a while. I'll tell you that right now. A foul was called. And now they're trying to get everybody off the floor so they can shoot free throws.
I mean, that was, I don't know what Gant was thinking here. What are you thinking? I mean, really.
Khalif Young is saying, what are you doing? Meanwhile, everyone in the world is running on the floor. Look at the clock. Was there still time left when the foul was committed? Yeah, there was. I think we're headed for Quincy McKnight free throws, but I can't tell you when that will be. They're trying to get everybody off the floor.
And Cooley's on the public address system. Screaming.
This is like Sam Weish for the Cincinnati Bengals yelling at the fans to stop throwing stuff on the field.
I mean, what was Gant thinking? Can somebody tell me?
Nope, but guess what? We're going to see 2 court storms tonight, because guess what? They're going to come right back on, if they can. I think Kevin Willard, I think he's trying to say, could this be a technical on Providence for the fans rushing the floor?
Oh,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's update the standings for now, giving Providence the victory. 2 straight losses now for Seton Hall. Providence will go to 7-6. But Kevin Willard is trying to make a case that not only should McKnight shoot 3 free throws, but there should be a technical on the fans for rushing the floor.
That still won't be enough.
It still won't be enough, but there's 0.2 on the clock.
It's a good try, but won't be enough.
Now you have the hardworking crew here at the Dunkin' Donuts that are trying to wipe up the floor because all these fans run on the floor.
By the way, we also found out who was going to win that battle of getting on the court or not getting on the court.
Take the over on that.
They call a technical foul? Yep.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get an explanation. We'll see if they... Let's hear what we got. We're getting an explanation. McKnight's at the free throw line.
One shot.
While there's still time on the clock with 0.2 seconds on a two-point shot.
All right, so it'll be 3 free throws for Seton Hall. An administrative technical foul for the fans rushing the floor. And they're saying that McKnight was shooting 2, not 3, when he got fouled by Gant. All right, that was the one technical foul. McKnight made that. Now he's going to get his 2 shots.
I mean, what is this kid thinking?
Foot was definitely inside the line, so not a 3-shot foul.
And all this does is prolong the agony for Kevin Willard and the Pirates.
He missed this one on purpose. Is that?
Yeah, hope you get fouled on a 3.
He doesn't have
you can't
anybody,
even shoot a 3. It's
nobody
0.2
underneath.
left.
I think Kevin Willard wants to get his players off the floor.
All you can do is tip it
before they storm the court again. And now it's over. And they're storming the court for the second time tonight.
This one not quite as exciting as the first one, I have to say.
Not as aggressive this time. We do have a final score, 74-71. Wild night here in Providence. For Steve Lapis, Justin Walters, our entire crew, I'm Andrew Catalan. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. After the break, we'll send you across the country to Southern California as BYU takes on San Diego. So long from Rhode Island.